YouTube has continued to attack alternative media by demonetizing most of our videos. If you'd like to support the channel, please visit our Amazon store or our Patreon page. Links below. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and over the course of the past couple months, Hollywood has imploded with claims of harassment and assault from people in all echelons of the industry. We just saw yesterday Matt Lauer fired from MSNBC after some very interesting and disturbing reports came out about him. He himself has come out and basically said that some of those were true, some of those weren't true, but enough was there to basically warrant his termination. Charlie Rose last week on CBS got let go. I mean, like, a lot of crazy things have happened in Hollywood as of late. And so the question is, what do you do? Well, in this particular story context, in the case of Johnny Depp, it goes back further than just a few months. We go back to last year, right? Middle or so around some time of last year, we started catching wind of allegations of abuse from his ex-wife, Amber Heard. They, of course, put this out into the open, and we saw some video footage of it, and we saw some stuff of Johnny Depp pretty hammered. We learned reports, just earlier this year about him blowing through tons and tons and tons of money, and is, he's basically a mess. He's essentially a mess, but in some respects, he can still be a box office draw. Not so much Pirates of the Caribbean 5, but I do feel that Memorial Day was not the right weekend for that. So this whole story centers around him being cast as Grindelwald in the new Fantastic Beasts films, and it's not an unknown announcement. We saw the movie last year. He's got the cameo. It was announced in the summer of 2016 that he was going to be in the movie. This is not an unknown thing. No one freaked out about it as much as they are right now. But the thing is, J.K. Rowling, David Yates, and Warner's are all standing by the decision to hire him, which is really fascinating because some fans aren't having it, which brings us to this headline. Harry Potter fan disappointed after J.K. Rowling blocks her for Johnny Depp question. Yeah, I know, right? So let's take a look. It says here that a Harry Potter fan has gone viral after she was apparently blocked by J.K. Rowling for tweeting a question about Johnny Depp. The whole thing started Tuesday when 24-year-old lab technician Lindsay B tagged Rowling in the following tweet. So if I understand correctly, the actor who played Crabbe, a minor character, was fired from Harry Potter for doing drugs. Yet Johnny Depp, who abused his wife, gets a major role in your movies. Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, Crabbe got arrested doing drugs, I think, and he was also a part of an underage film franchise at the time. That's, again, if you're just looking for context of aging. I'm not saying, like, abuse and drugs are nowhere near the same category, even if sometimes correlation equals causation, but not always. So I get what the question is. And to be fair, given everything that's been going on recently, it's a fair question to ask, right? Crabbe was fired, and everything else. It goes back, though, to just where were things at the time? And that is a big question that does need to get brought up quite a bit when these situations, when these comparisons are made. It's the what about scenario. When you have someone say, well, this happened, but what about this? It's like, well, yeah, but let's also compare the time when that happened, who was involved, context matters, all those things play into it. But again, just to go off the sake of whatever, let's say that her question does make sense. Now, Depp's inclusion in the Fantastic Beasts franchise has been a subject of controversy ever since news about his casting broke last November, a couple of weeks before the film was scheduled to be released. In May of 2016, Johnny Depp was accused of being physically abusive by his then-wife Amber Heard. Heard claimed in court that Depp bruised her eye after throwing a cell phone at her and was granted a temporary restraining order against him. Now, the Amber Heard situation as a whole is one that I do believe is up to the person, whoever's talking about it at the time. Mostly I say this because Amber Heard, it felt like, to a few of us who saw the video she put out, baited Johnny Depp at those moments. Like, she had this one where he's like thrashing around a kitchen, and it felt like the argument was that, like, they had already been fighting. She let it in there. She had the phone ready to go, phone ready to record, knew where, like, his wine was and the glasses were, and wanted to show him on this drunken tirade. It felt like a staged event on her end in order to paint him in the worst possible light. That's not to say that he didn't throw a cell phone at her and bruise her eye, or he didn't act aggressively towards her. Just in that context, it felt different. We have no confirmation of that. It's something that many of us were feeling at the time. So it does kind of call a lot of other things into question for the veracity of them, how it all played out, things like that. Now, at the time, the news that he'd be appearing in Beasts drew criticism from fans. Not really. Not really. No one... People were actually more excited that Johnny Depp was in the movie than not excited that Johnny Depp was in the movie. But then it also feels like November 2016, the early days of November 2016, were just a far off time, a distant memory now of greener pastures, rainbows, and blowjobs. That's what it felt like. Now, totally different. But a couple of weeks ago, following the release of the first cast photo for Fantastic Beasts 2, which includes Depp once again as Grindelwald, the criticism has reignited. And again, it's due to the climate where we are right now. Had there not been the hashtag #MeToo movement, had the whole Harvey Weinstein thing not happened, had everything else not gone down, we would not be in this particular situation, to the point of where J.K. Rowling is now making trending news because she blocked a fan. Funny. Now, Lindsay did tell Mashable here, like a lot of fans, I do not agree with Depp playing Grindelwald. Well, it's not up for her, but she can vote with her wallet, which is what I would recommend anyone do. Personally, I didn't think Fantastic Beasts was that good of a movie. So much so that even when it was like $6 on Black Friday, I still went, I'll wait for the collection. I'll wait for the collection. I don't need to buy it. She goes on to say here, like I said in my tweet, he abused Amber, but because he's famous, his career won't be affected by his actions. To me, this is wrong, and that's why I'm against Johnny Depp playing a role in Fantastic Beasts. Look, a private affair made public is a hard one to come back from, right? Not saying Johnny Depp is innocent or vindicated or whatever, but clearly there are elements at play there that we don't all know. Clearly, it's his word versus her word. The video evidence we've seen looks a little bit, like I said before, like it felt like a staged, like, you know, like there was a fight, the fight broke out, and then there was, hey, let's move it in here, now I can record it, so we're going to be at the worst, and it's going to look better to the lawyers. Now, granted, there was a restraining order, but that restraining order was lifted. So, Lindsay said she decided to speak up on Twitter after reading David Yates' recent defense of Depp. Like I said, David Yates, Warner's, and JK are all on board of this, meaning they either don't want to mess with what they've already got going on in pre-production, they don't want to mess with what they've already been able to build, they don't want to mess with the current canon, and it's not like, and just to be fair here, it's not like Harry Potter movies haven't had to recast people. Right? Crabbe, as previously mentioned, was busted, was ousted, and replaced with some random person. So at the time of their demise in the 7th Harry Potter, the 8th Harry Potter movie, it was a wholly different dude. It was Goyle and somebody else. And then you've also got, Dumbledore dying and then being replaced by Michael Gambon, who completely mucked up the role. Should have gone to Ian McKellen. I'm just saying. That's my thing. If only Richard Harris would have lived. Okay, just as a quick gripe, why did they cast Jude Law as young Albus Dumbledore? Clearly, Jared Harris, Richard Harris's son, would be the best person to play him. I just want to, that's a side thing. Sorry, that's my own gripe. Anyway, Lindsay said, she said this, the next morning, she noticed that J.K. Rowling had blocked her. Then you see here that J.K. Rowling had blocked her. That's freaking fantastic. And she got a lot of retweets on that one. 54,000 almost. 131,000 likes. There's no way some heat from this isn't going to blow back on J.K. Now, at the time of writing, her tweet had been blocked, been shared over 44,000 times, so clearly it's gone up. Lindsay says she didn't know how to feel about the tweet going viral, saying, I never expected this, and the reactions to the tweet have been very diverse. Some people congratulate me on being blocked, some tell me how sorry they are this happened, and of course, there's a bit of hatred. You gotta like that the bit of hatred takes the final form there. That it's just a bit, not a lot, but a bit. So that's, I guess that's worth noting. She says, it goes on to say, me, correct me if I'm wrong, JK blocks me, I guess I wasn't wrong. It's also entirely possible, to be fair. Celebrities are people. Celebrities with political opinions are people, and there might just be times where they don't want to, like one comment could be the straw that breaks a camel's back. Ultimately, I wouldn't take it personally. I'm personally blocked by many famous people that I actually really admire because they like to use block lists. Like, I'm a big Sean Astin fan. Love me some Goonies. Love me some Rudy. Loved me Bob in Stranger Things Season 2. And he has me blocked on Twitter. Because of reasons. I have never said hiding her hair to the guy. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So Lindsay told Mashable that she was quite shocked but mostly disappointed by Rowling's decision to block her, saying, I've admired her for so long, to find out I was blocked for stating my opinion was very disappointing. That goes to that whole freedom of speech. Doesn't necessarily mean free from consequences situation. It's kind of funny. So Mashable did reach out to J.K. Rowling's representatives, but were told that the offer was not available for comment. That's great. Now, the thing here, the reason why this is funny to me is because J.K. Rowling many times pops up, you know, with these like, I'm going to blast Donald Trump tweets. And she ends up getting lots of love, lots of attention, lots of praise because she's, you know, speaking truth to power, even though she's, you know, one of the richest women in the world. She's a billionaire, for crying out loud. Off of a novel series she started writing on the backs of napkins when she was a single parent back in the 1980s. You know, I mean, or the early 90s, whenever the hell she wrote it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. The point is, it's a very popular franchise. I love the book series. I love the movies, even though I don't agree with her politically. And this is one of those moments in time where you have to also ask yourself, are you going to be influenced by a person's politics or by a person's actions when seeing the film? Since the idea of an actor is to meld into, morph into a part, to no longer be that part. And Johnny Depp is very, very, very good at that, despite other misgivings as a human. He's very good at playing those roles. Is this going to be something you're going to be able to look past? I'm going to argue that 90% of you out there, and probably more like 95%, if not higher, would say, yeah, oh yeah, totally, no problem. You don't care because as soon as you hear the theme song and you see the characters and you're back in the world, you're going to be happy about it. But there are going to be people out there that are going to try to make this a political issue for no other reason than they just don't have anything else to do on a Friday night at 9 p.m. And that's going to be a problem because in this world right now, we have these kind of people well, look, okay, I just want to, before I go into this little rant part, I want to say Lindsay's question is not bad. As I previously stated, I just want to reiterate that point. Her question makes sense. It's a question. But at the time, to be fair, J.K. Rowling, or just in general, to be fair, J.K. Rowling is not necessarily the person that has final say on that. She was involved in the casting of the Harry Potter series, and she was an exec producer on the series, but she didn't cut the checks. She didn't have final say. It went to the directors, it went to the producers. She was kind of there in name only, so to speak. She's more involved in these films where she wrote the screenplay for the first movie and this new movie. And so, you know, but she's still not in the casting. The casting would go to, again, the producers at Warner Brothers, and David Yates. Not to say she doesn't have weight she could throw behind it, but this is a multi-billion-dollar franchise, right? This is a multi-billion-dollar franchise. At this point, it's better just to weather this storm than it is to get out there and say, yeah, fire Johnny Depp. It's just not going to happen. The best course of action for J.K. Rowling would have been for her just to not say anything, because now that she's blocked this woman, that's out there. Articles are being written, videos are being made, right? People are talking about this, and they're going to be talking about J.K. Rowling for a while, and so it's not going to look good. At this point, I would assume she's been contacted by Warner Brothers, by her agent or by a representative of some kind, and been told to shut up, And if she was smart, and she is, she's going to. Does that mean it's going to stop people like Lindsay from trying to lead an attack against the film when it comes out? I don't know. And to be perfectly honest with you, them not responding now is for the best. Just let it kind of flare up right now, but then just, you know, kind of ember itself out, smother itself out. It will spike up again by the time the film comes out, but we could be in a wholly different place a year from now. And it'd be better to deal with it then than to deal with it now and let that resentment kind of build up. Additionally speaking, fans can have an impact. I do want that to be known. I look at the whole situation with EA and Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the whole controversy there. Fans can hurt a movie. And after Justice League failed to deliver to the way that Warner's wants, this is their next big franchise. They don't want to mess with it. So expect mum's the word from literally every person working with this movie when asked a question about this particular topic. And I'm just telling you, from a business perspective, it's going to be for the best. Hey guys, that wraps up this video. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do so below. I love to read your guys' input. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. If you want to support the channel, there's the Amazon affiliate store, there's PayPal, there's Patreon, there's Bitcoin. And if you're bored and you want something else to watch, check out 3 Buck Theater up here. My name is Matt Jarbo. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a wonderful day. Peace out.